Hello dear students, welcome back to mathematics online class. Today we are going to learn how we can prove root 2 is irrational number. We are going to prove how root 2 is an irrational number. Before going to prove this problem, let's recall the previous theorem, that is third theorem in first chapter. If p divides a square, if p be any prime number, let p be any prime number, let p be any prime number, if p divides a square, if p divides a square, then p divides a, where a is any positive integer, where a is any positive integer. In the previous video we discussed about this theorem, right? If p divides a square, then p divides a. What are p and a here? P is a prime number and a is what? Positive integer. Let's take an example. If we are writing 3 divides a square, if this statement is satisfying, if 3 divides a square, if this statement is satisfying, then we can write that 3 divides a. Means 3 is one of the factor in the prime factoration of a. That's why we can say 3 divides a, means a is exactly divided by 3. Right? So 3 is one of the factor in the prime factoration of a. So only 3 will be the factor in the prime factoration of a? No. 3 into there are some other numbers also here. A factoration will be 3 into some other number, p1, p2, p3, so on. Not only 3, there are some other numbers also there in the factoration. So when 3 divides a, then we can write a equals to 3 into this product of the remaining all prime numbers. I will take it as c, where c is any positive integer. Is it clear? If we are writing 3 divides a square, if the statement is satisfying, then you are allowed to write 3 divides a. Means 3 is one of the factor in the prime factoration of a. So a can be written as 3 into product of the remaining prime numbers, because not only 3, there are some other numbers also there in the prime factoration. So the remaining all the products I am taking it as c, a equals to 3c we can write. Okay, let's take one more example. 7 divides a square. If this statement is satisfying, then we can write that 7 divides a. Means a, how can we write a? A will be 7 will be one of the factor in the prime factoration of a. So a will be 7 into d, where d is any positive integer. Is it clear, everyone? So how I am writing a equals to 7d? When I say 7 divides a square, in the prime factoration of a, you can see one of the factor, that is 7. Not only 7, some other products also will be there, some other prime numbers. So the product of the remaining prime numbers, I am taking it as d. Okay? So this is about actually how we can utilize the theorem, third theorem in the first chapter. Right? And one more concept also you need to know about coprimes. Coprimes. Which numbers are called coprimes? If a and b are two given numbers, if a and b are two given numbers, if the HCF of a and b, if the HCF of a and b equals to 1, then a comma b are called coprimes. If a and b are two given numbers, the HCF of a and b equals to 1, then a and b are called coprimes. Let's take an example, 4 and 5. Let's take an example 4 and 5. Okay, what is HCF of 4 and 5? 4 prime factorization we can write 2 into 2 square we can write. 5 we can write only 5. What is highest common factor among these two? HCF of 4 comma 5 equals to 1 only, because only 1 is a common factor in between 4 and 5, among 4 and 5. Okay? 1. So HCF of 4 and 5 equals to 1. Is it clear? So most of the students will think co-primes are nothing but prime numbers. No. See, 4 is not a prime number. 4 is a composite number. Of course, 5 is a prime number. But when you are taking the combination of 4 and 5, you are getting the HCF, you are getting HCF that is 1. So whenever HCF of two numbers equals 1, then such numbers are called, two numbers, whatever the two numbers you are taking, such numbers are called co-primes. 4 comma 5 are called co-primes. So, is it clear? So if you know these two concepts, then we are going to prove how root 2 is irrational number. So I am going to prove how root 2 is irrational. Prove that root 2 is irrational. Okay, so this one we are going to solve using the method of contradiction. So first of all, I will assume root 2 is a rational number. Then I will simplify this problem, and later I will get some contradiction statement. I am taking root 2 is rational number, and later I will get some contradiction statement. So then I will realize that whatever we assumed at the beginning, it was wrong. Therefore, we can say that root 2 is irrational number. So in this way, we are going to prove how root 2 is irrational number. Okay. So this method is called method of contradiction. Okay. So first of all, I am going to take root 2 is rational number. Okay, let root 2 is rational number. Actually, root 2 is rational? No, root 2 is an irrational, but I am assuming it as root 2 is rational number. So here I will write, let us assume to the contrary that. Why I am writing here contrary? Because contrary is nothing but opposite. Actually, root 2 is rational number? No, root 2 is irrational number, but I am taking some contradiction statement. What is that? Root 2 is rational I am taking. Okay, contrary is nothing but opposite. So let us assume to the contrary that root 2 is rational. Okay, if it is rational, then from the definition of rational number we can write it is in the form of p by q, right? Rational numbers are the numbers which are expressed in the form of p by q, right? So root 2, if it is rational number, then we should write in the form of p by q. So I will write a by b. Root 2 equals to a by b, where a and b are integers, b not equal 0, and also I am taking and a comma b are co-primes. A comma b are co-primes. So just now we discussed co-primes nothing but the HCF of a and b equals 1. Co-primes is nothing but here. What is the meaning? HCF of a comma b equals 1. Then only we can say co-primes. Means what is the meaning? A and b is simplified form. A by b is the simplified form of root 2. Root 2 equals to a by b. Okay. Now I am doing squaring on both sides. Root 2 equals a by b. So I am doing squaring on both sides here. Squaring on both sides. So what you will get, root 2 whole square equals to a by b whole square, that is 2 equals to a square by b square. Let's cross multiply it. 2b square equals to a square. 2b square equals to a square. Okay. See here, 2b square equals to a square means 2 is the one of the factor in the prime factoration of a square, right? 2 is one of the factor in the prime factoration of a square. Yes or no? Because a square equals to 2 into b into b. So here I can say that 2 is a factor in the prime factoration of a square. So I can say 2 divides a square. Yes or no? If 2 is a factor in the prime factoration of a square, definitely we can say 2 divides a square. So I am writing here 2 divides a square. If 2 divides a square, from the third theorem we can say that if 2 divides a square, then definitely we can write 2 divides a. 2 divides a. Okay. If you are writing 2 divides a, means what is the meaning? 2 is the one of the factor in the prime factoration of a. Means if you are writing the prime factoration of a, then 2 will be one of the factor. Not only 2, there are some other factors also. The remaining all factors I am taking it as C. So when 2 divides a, we can write that a equals to 2 into c. Why? Because 2 is the one of the factor. Not only 2, some other numbers also will be there. So the remaining all product of the remaining numbers I am taking it as c, where c is any positive integer. C is any positive integer. Okay. Now let's take, this is the first equation, this is the first equation. Okay. And let's take, this is the second equation. Now I am substituting a value, in equation 1. Let's substitute a value in equation 1. Okay. So what you will get? From first equation we can say actually 2b square equals to a square. This is the first equation. So in this equation I am writing a value, that is 2c, 2c whole square. This is from second equation. So you will get 2b square equals to 2 square is 4c square. So 2 one time, 2 two times, we can cancel it. So we will get the value b square equals to 2c square. b square equals to 2c square. Again see here, 2 is a one of the factor in the prime factoration of b square. 2 is the one of the factor in the prime factoration of b square, right? So if 2 is the one of the factor in the prime factoration of b square, then I can write the statement 2 divides b square. 2 divides b square. From the third theorem we can say that if 2 divides b square, then we can say 2 divides b. 2 divides b. Is it clear? Now if 2 divides b, then what can we write? 2 is the one of the factor in the prime factoration of b, no? So we can write that b equals to 2 into d. In the prime factoration of b, we can see one of the factor. What is that? 2. Not only 2, there are some other numbers also will be there, that is d, where d is any positive integer. D is any positive integer. Okay. Now let's take, this is third equation. Now observe carefully here, second equation and third equation. From second equation a value is 2c. From third equation a value is 2d. What is HCF of, b value, it is b value. B value is 2d. What is HCF of a comma b? HCF of a comma b is 2, right? 2c and 2d. At least 2 is a common in these two. At least 2. Of course, there may be some another prime number also common in the prime factorization of C and prime factorization of D. But from these two, we can say clearly 2 is at least one of the common factor, right? But at the beginning, what we have taken? HCF of A and B equals to 1. Okay? But after simplifying, what I got here? HCF of A and B equals to 2. Now this is contradiction only, no? When I have taken HCF equals 1, when I am thinking that root 2 is rational number, then after simplifying, I should get HCF equals to 1. But here what you are getting HCF? HCF you are getting 2. Means this is a contradiction statement. Why this contradiction statement we are getting? Why? Because of our incorrect assumption. When root 2 is rational, then if you simplify, then HCF also we will get 1 only. That's why when it is wrong, we are getting HCF as 2, which is contradiction. Understanding? So we can say that this contradiction has arisen. Why it is arisen? Because of our incorrect assumption. Therefore, we conclude that root 2 is irrational number. Okay? So let's write the information more clearly. From 2 and 3, we can say that, here I am writing the statement. This conclusion is very, very important. You need to write the conclusion very carefully. From 2 and 3, we can say that A and B have at least 2 as a common factor. At least 2 as a common factor. But this contradicts the fact. That A and B have no common factor. Other than 1. Yes? Beginning we have taken HCF is 1. So the common factor will be 1. Okay? So from the statement I am writing A and B have no common factor other than 1. This contradicts the fact that A and B have no common factor other than 1. Okay? So this contradiction has arisen. This contradiction has arisen because of our wrong assumption. That what was the wrong assumption? Root 2 is rational. This was the wrong assumption. So now how can we conclude then? Therefore we conclude that root 2 is irrational. Okay? So I think you are clear with this model, how root 2 is an irrational number. So like that same procedure we can take if the question is asked for root 3, root 5, root 7, root 11. Root P form where P is any prime number. Okay? Thank you.